Supreme Court justices rejected a number of high-profile appeals today as they returned to the bench following their summer recess. Among the appeals, a request from the Biden administration to throw out a lower court ruling that said hospitals in Texas cannot be required to provide abortions if they would break state law. In Texas, abortion is banned except when the life of the mother is at risk. CBS News Supreme Court and legal producer Catherine Cole joins me now. Catherine, it's great to see you.
Thank you.
Talk to us more about this case and why it's significant that the Supreme Court decided not to rule on it.
Well, it's day one of the new Supreme Court term, big day, and as expected, you're right, first thing they did was tell us the cases they won't be hearing, and this is the biggest one of them. So what's going on here is there is a Texas law that restricts abortion, but has exceptions for the life of the mother, or in fact, when there is a substantial threat to her health. The Biden administration was worried that this violated a federal law that requires doctors to give you stabilizing care whenever you are in an emergency room. But the lower court said, look, that federal law, that doesn't provide specifics. And also the Texas law has these exceptions. And so we don't think these two laws are in conflict. And then today what the Supreme Court did was say, we're not getting involved. So takeaway here, nothing's going to change. The Texas law stands. But what you should not conclude is that the court is not going to wade into controversy this year. There's a number of big cases coming up.
And tell us about some of those cases. What are they going to?
Well, fireworks start as soon as tomorrow. There is a case tomorrow involving ghost guns, which are these kind of do-it-yourself gun parts kits. You order them online. You can put together a gun in your garage. And the ATF in 2022 said, basically, we're going to regulate these parts as though they are firearms already. They're firearms themselves. Right. And then that way, the government can require things like serial numbers, background checks, other regulations that make it easier for law enforcement to do its job. The advocates for these gun makers will argue that's Congress's job. And so the court is going to have to decide, can the ATF do this? But the biggest case, that's tomorrow, the biggest case is coming later, and that case involves the provision of puberty blockers, hormone therapies, and other medications for children with gender dysphoria. This comes out of a law out of Tennessee, which said these treatments, they're untested, they might be harmful. We're not going to allow them in Tennessee. A number of states have laws like that in place. But then a number of other states say this kind of treatment is protected as life-saving care. And so the court is going to have to decide, is Tennessee right? That's coming up later this year.
Well, both of those cases, I can already see why they will be fiery. The Supreme Court could also be asked to weigh in on cases related to the 2024 election. What could they hear, and could there be a potential impact on? I guess that's tough to say.
Boy, I think the court would love to stay out of the 2024 election if it could. Whether it will be able to remains to be seen. Already in August, they had to get involved in a proof of citizenship and voter registration challenge out of Arizona. And we've seen just an explosion in litigation involving the election this cycle. Voter roll maintenance cases, mail-in ballot cases, voter registration cases. So it's possible one of them percolates up. But one thing I would say is that we're now 29 days out from the election. And all courts, from the Supreme Court right on down, are going to be really reluctant to change the rules of play this late in the game. So I would expect, knock on wood, maybe a quiet couple of weeks, because no court is going to want to intervene unless the unforeseen happens. And then after that, who knows?
Exactly. Well, you will know. You'll be keeping us honest. And thank you so much, Catherine.
Thank
Cole.
you.
Appreciate it.